Hello, dear friends. Greetings from North Africa, my beautiful country, Algeria. We're happy to welcome you again on Electra TV Middle East. On the platform of international public movement, Electra was launched a unique project called Creative Society. People from all over 180 countries conduct social surveys to find out how people envision creative society, a society where they will be happy and living prosperously. We continue successfully testing the theory of six handshake, according to which all people on planet Earth know each other and connect to each other through six connections. And today we're going to be hosting our live conversation with Constantian. Hi, Constantian.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone.
I'm fine, thank you. And we have our beautiful young thinkers, Gauri and Lahari from India. Hi.
Hello.
The girls had inspired us during the student talk show by talking about very important topic in a certain level of depth. Can you please tell us how was the competition? How were you feeling? We'll start from you, Gauri.
Well, I had extremely great experience at the conference. Lot of talking. There was so much of debating between us. We were debating on real life issues. I could never even think that I had so much of potential to talk about so many great capacities that I really didn't know about.
That's great. That's great to explore our potential. And what about you, Lahari, dear?
It was a wonderful experience. I would like to mention that I loved the chat box thing, going through so many different opinions. There were four topics, but you had hundreds of perspectives over there. It's very important perspective, and we had a very learned and wise panel. And Tisha had rightly said yesterday that we didn't feel judged. I will completely agree with her. So we learned so many things. We got to speak our minds out. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so
Exactly.
much.
hmm I wanted also to add that the most important victory is the victory over yourself. When you win over your uncertainty, over your fear, and when you are making the new step to become better. You guys were victorious already at that time because, like we mentioned at that time, we did not come to judge you, but we've come to support you and help you again to become better. That's our role as teachers. Thank you.
That's great. These kind of competitions really emphasize on people speaking up, and especially young people, they need to get the confidence in order to be able to express themselves. And within time, thinking make you grow, and expressing yourself make you be more confident to even think more and more and more. And before we continue our conversation, I would like to address dear viewers. Please leave us your comment at the end of the chat. We will choose the very interesting questions to ask to our guests. So I'll start from you, Gauri. Your speech was really interesting. You had emphasized on the role of technology in bringing the best practices in the teaching process. Tell us more
Yeah.
about this topic and why did you choose it?
Well, the first thing that I thought when I read all the four topics, the first thing that came to my mind was the need of the hour. In today's rapidly changing globe, where every now and then we feel like something new is happening, I felt that in the field of education, technology could make so many more changes, and it could make our teaching and learning process so much more simpler. And therefore I chose to speak about this topic. And coming to technology, I believe that if technology is there, that's the main reason we are able to connect with each other at such a difficult time. Thank you.
That's a very interesting answer. And how do you think technology, as a young girl and as a learner, how do you think technology is helping you assessing the information in a better way?
Well, in today's situation, I believe that technology has learned and helped me to be more productive, to be more creative. It is bringing the best within me. Even now, like even if I'm feeling a bit anxious, I'm like, oh no, yeah, technology is basically bringing out the best within me, and that's why I feel that technology is helping me assess myself, find the creativity within me. And like today, I'm a student of a boarding school, and I never experienced so much of technological learning that I'm able to do right now. So I believe that technology has helped me assess a lot within myself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Larry, let me ask you a question. You were talking about leadership in your presentation. The question is, from your point of view, how can leadership and good management improve the system of education?
Sir, education is an extremely vital tool for our society. It has the potential to unite and teach to millions and to diverse people. So leadership is essential in education, especially because it has the potential um, to teach right values, to teach people what we need, to teach people what they can offer to the society, to help them realize their own potential. Leadership and good management in education has the potential to produce more leaders, to make the world one, and for young or old or for any kind of people, their ideas can sprout.
Thank you very much. Nice answer. I also wanted to reflect from my experience and share with my experience that I used to have, because I've been to many positions, including governmental positions and leading positions in education. The most important thing that I realized in education leadership is that, first of all, any kind of leadership, this is responsibility. And wherever you're a leader, you need to understand that the group you're leading, the team or the community, the country, or even the world, the person needs to understand that a community, my family, the group, my colleagues I'm working with, where I am the leader, it's first of all me. So I'm not a separate part, but I am integrated part into this group, and we are all one. It's even closer like a family, because when I'm one, I am egoistic, but when there are many of us, we're one. So that's why for me, my team, my community, and the people all over the world, it's me. And whenever I have an opportunity to become a leader, the leadership for me is first of all responsibility, because I'm taking my responsibility for the results that is going to be done. Thank you.
Exactly, leadership is taking a responsibility, and especially if that leader is the one who makes decisions. So the effectiveness of your decision will be just based on you and your reflection. Thank you so much. So Gori, I can see that you love technology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said that you would like to perform financial analysis. When we say financial analysis, that's related to data and data analysis. So can you please tell me, how can technology contribute in ensuring a more innovative and interactive approaches to solve issues, generally speaking?
Well, when I speak about technology promoting innovation, the first thing that I believe technology can do is technology can connect people they can connect people very nice. And when people come together, it is quite often that they will come to think, they will think together. Many people will come up with their own perspectives. Many people will, and this will help us to bring many perspectives together and take an integrated approach towards a basic situation. And this helps in bringing innovation within people. Because I feel that every time people connect, they socialize it's a human nature. We tend to socialize. And in that way, they think together, they bring many perspectives, and those perspectives can take an integrated approach, as I said, and this will promote innovation. Yeah, thank you.
I like to
Thank you
add
very much,
something to
Gilbert.
that too.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, Lara, can you share with us your opinion, please?
On technology, sir, it should cater to everybody's needs, because and it should also fulfill the purpose that it was created for, that is to ease our needs and to not to make us depend entirely on them. Technology should bring out scope for more technology, more breakthrough, more research, more ideas in fields like healthcare, aviation, space exploration, agriculture, sciences, psychology. It has massive, massive potential.
Thank you.
That's very interesting. I would like to ask you, like you girls had mentioned a lot about technology being a tool that we may use for the betterment of the life of people. So what do you think the current technological development is going through creating creators, creating AIs and AGIs? So what do you think of their integration in our, as creator in the ecosystem?
There you go.
Yeah, sure.
I'd also like to state how important technology is to education. This pandemic, one issue it has highlighted is that we need to integrate technology into our education systems. Because right now we are in a sort of vacuum. It took us a lot of time to understand that we can shift to digital platforms to teach our children, to make our classrooms more effective. But unfortunately, as privileged as we are, that we have access to learning resources, there are so many other students who have no access. As of June 7th, apparently, 87% of the world's student population, 1.725 billion students, they were affected by the coronavirus pandemic. There are so many students in places like rural India or other parts of the world who have no access, which is why each country should take up initiative to integrate technology into the education system so that irrespective of whether a student can make it to school or not, they can learn.
Thank you. What about you, Gauri? What do you think?
Thank you so much. And as you said, that making AIs, robots as a human living creature within us. Well, I personally believe that technology is a very good servant, but it is a very dangerous master. We will have to learn how to tame technology and use AI in our social livings. Just because technology is very good, you cannot include it to being social creatures, because after all, AI cannot show human emotions that we have within us. AI cannot connect with us that better. It is really important that we tame technology. We do not have to make it a master for us, but we can use it for, as Lahari said, that we can use it for greater purposes. We can bring good healthcare. We can bring good education, but we cannot. I do not personally believe that we can tame it to be a good creature as a living social being.
And there, how do you use it for your learning experience?
May I go?
How do you use technology? Like, tell us more about you while learning. Tell us about your learning experiences and how do you use technology for improving your learning process and experience? Like apps that you use.
Should I go?
Yeah, sure, dear.
I've observed that while I study digitally, I can open up a new tab and search for something very quickly. And I actually appreciate the human element that the teachers bring in, the human touch they bring in. But when you open a new tab or something, you have multiple other kind of options to search from. So your mind is exposed to broader opinions, to so that you have the right to be more inquisitive and you can question more. It is also important to note that technology, as Gauri said, cannot replace our humans. They have the human element. So we should try finding ways to integrate them, as I said earlier.
What do you think, dear Gauri? Tell us more about you and your experience.
Well, I personally use technology a lot. Like, as I said, I belong to a boarding school, and there is not so much of scope that you go every time you want. You can go and sit on any mobile or PCs. But right now, since I'm learning digitally, as Lahari said, even I have got a broader mindset. I have a lot of access to so many new things. Like, there is this app called Kahoot, which I had never used. There you can play fun quizzes. One thing that I want to point out is that technology has made learning more easier and more fun. Personally, like, you can perform more experiments with it. You can have fun with it. At the same time, you will be learning something, because every time you use technology, you're bringing out something innovative within you, and you're putting it out. You're putting the innovation that is inside you onto some basic element. And that's why I feel that technology, I personally use technology a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Lahari, what do you think about leadership? You had spoken a lot about leadership. So what do you think a leader can do to improve the productivity of his team?
Leadership is essentially about support. I had said that too earlier. So you need to be able to keep your team together. You need to set out any inhibitions aside, any preferences aside, because you're working collectively, you're working as a team. Teamwork is what matters over here. And a leader, in a leader's role in a team is to guide, to motivate, to inspire, to challenge, to bring out untapped potential, and to essentially to make each member of the team contribute. That is very important, because only if a certain section of the team contributes, it's very disappointing for the other members and for those who actually are doing the work. So a leader should be able to bring in more input, should be able to bring in more productivity.
Thank you so much. What do you think, Gauri? Do you have any comment about this?
I personally believe that Nelson Mandela once said, a leader is like a shepherd. He leaves his flock go mew the best out of it, but they always know that there is somebody behind them who is standing to help them whenever it is required. And leadership is not basically being, it's not being in charge. It means that you will take care of people who are in your charge. So I believe that leadership is just a quality which everyone must inculcate. And leadership is something, like a good leader can transform so many things, bring the best potential within everybody. We have so many good examples also. We see that during this COVID pandemic, I saw emergence of so many new leaders. I can take the example of Greta Thunberg, who started protesting for climate changes. We see how good leaders are coming out, and they are becoming good leaders because they are bringing the best within them. They are bringing the best within their pupils, within their colleagues, and therefore I feel that leadership is something that is not just being in charge. Well, it is more than just being in charge. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me also ask you a question. Larry, you're about to finish school. Have you made up your plans already, whom you want to become?
Like I said, I would like to take up engineering next, and I will spontaneously decide what I will like to do next. But essentially, I would like to grow up to be a responsible citizen, not just for my country, but as a global citizen. I want to make some good change to the society. I want to have a good impact on the society. I believe I'm destined for good things, to bring more happiness in people's lives. I love making people laugh. I intend to do that.
Thank you very much, dear. Gauri, what about you? Have you set up your goals?
Yes, I believe that when I grow up, I wish to be an economist or a financial analyst. But as she said, before being anything, before being just a financial analyst or economist, I tend to be a citizen. I tend to be a member of this society, and I wish to bring up a good change in the society, make people around me feel productive, bring some good change. And I believe I wish to contribute in making this whole world a global. Yeah. And to people who did not get the word global, it is basically the combination of two words, global and local. It's like the whole world is one village. So quite recently I read this word. It says global. So global plus local, it's global.
That's very interesting. Thank you so much. And both of you would like to contribute to society and would like to be leaders in order to influence change in their society. And one of the most important characteristics of any leader is problem-solving skills. So what do you think, Lahari, problem-solving skills how do you think they can up-level the performance of the leader?
Problem-solving skill starts with analysis. When you understand, and before analysis, you need to understand what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you feel can help improving the situation. When you do that, you have a solid idea of what you want to work on. Then you get to analysis. You understand what the loopholes are, you understand what the pros and cons are. You work on them, you get help on it, and you brainstorm a lot, you think about it, which after which you get to finding the consequences, the outputs, which output will ensure satisfaction for everybody, something on those terms. So a leadership should be able to inculcate all these as problem solving skills.
That's very interesting. Like, you need to make the point of the situation, analyze the situation, and then come up with the changes that you would like to implement according to your analysis. And how, like, a leader always will need a team. Will need a strong team. So how do you define a team for you? What is a team and a successful team?
A successful team is one that can contribute more, which can think alike despite being diverse. They are equal and yet diverse. That is very important in a team. They can bring in their own inputs, they can bring in their own perspectives, they can bring in their own ideas. So when you have so many different ideas coming in, you sit down and you start thinking. It's not like you will dismiss anybody, because you're going to have a healthy discussion about it. A team will feel appreciated when they are heard. Anybody will feel appreciated when they're heard. It's important to sit down and listen and give them an ear. I think that's how it should work.
Very interesting. Do you have something to add there, Gauri?
Yes, I believe a team consists of many different kinds. Let me take an example. A team consists of many different kinds of mangoes, but at the end, they are going to be mangoes. Let me take. There are kinds of alfonsos. There'll be mangoes which will be kind of sour. There'll be mangoes that will be kind of sweet. There will be some which will be bitter. But at the end, they all together they make a good team, because I believe that every team will consist of different perspectives. They may be good, they may be bad, but a successful team will be the one which will bring all these together, and the combination of good and bad shall give us something that will be more productive, because that time there will be an integrated approach. We'll know what are going to be the pros, and at the same time we are going to know what are going to be the cons to approach a situation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you a question. Gauri, let's begin with you. And I know that you girls are doing a lot and you're working a lot, you have studied a lot. It seems obvious that education is very important for you. Let me ask you a question. How do you see the development of education after the pandemic?
I believe education is not mere literacy. I believe there is a very thin line of difference between being literate and between being educated. And in today's world, we need people who are educated than being literate. Holding a degree is very simple. To me, holding a degree is very, yes, it does have a lot of thinking process that we come to. We have to read a lot of books, but more than being literate, I believe that person should emphasize on being more educated. And education is not something that is bound within four walls. Education is when a person explores within himself, because education was not meant for it was not made so that our brains think more complex, or the society becomes more tough to adjust with. It was actually made so that so that thinking becomes more simpler and people are able to adapt with each other. So therefore, I believe that in a creative society, education will not be something that will be bound within four walls. Education will be something that will be more exposed to learning from everything that is possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gauri. I would like to welcome Dr. Nayak. Hi, doctor. How are you? Doctor, please.
I'm absolutely fantastic. And, I was so fortunate to find two of my children. They're doing fantastic. I think you all might be enjoying. Please go ahead. Carry on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I would like actually to ask Lahari about how do you think communication and social interaction can help improve in the educational system?
we are social beings, and interaction is what we require essentially. This lockdown has restricted interaction and social communication in a significant number of ways. So, in education, communication plays a vital role, for it acts as a medium through which you can express your thoughts, to debate on them, to argue on them, and the argument can pander both to logic and to emotion. Education, communication in education needs to be able to bring more results, bring more productivity and more output.
Thank you so much. Do you have any comment on that, dear Gauri?
That education and communication, like as human social beings, it's rightly said, even in Bhagavad Gita it was said that if humans do not interact with each other, then there is not going to be any productivity, because at that time everybody's ideas will be just stuck within their heads, and what is the use if they are not brought into practicality. So I personally believe that technology surely has restricted us. This global pandemic has restricted us from being social, but at the same time we are able to connect through our ideas, through our emotions. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Gauri. And you had spoken-
Ma'am,
Sure.
I would also like to add to what education can do in a creative society. Can I?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Education in a creative society should be such that it ensures the development holistically, which includes both academic and extracurricular activity. Curriculum should be such that it sensitizes children on all sorts of issues and instills in them values like independence, integrity, honesty, responsibility, and punctuality. And they following up to what I said previously about communication, it will play a vital role in doing so, because it helps in formulating more thought. One door leads to another, one question will lead to another. The more inquisitive a society is, the more it will try to search for answers. You need to have an unending zest for life and an unquenchable thirst to learn. When you try to fulfill this thirst, it grows and the society expands.
Thank you so much, Lahari. You had spoken about responsibility. So, girls, what do you think thinking and responsibility can help you improve the educational system and your society as well? What do you think, Gauri?
Really believe that every time there is a problem, we tend to blame society for it. There is improper education system, or there is something that is uncorrected way of medical care. We tend to blame society for it. But the day a human understands that we blame society, but the fact is that we ourselves are society. So the day a human understands that thing, responsibility will surely come to him or her by itself. And the day a person becomes more responsible, it is sure that the country will grow. Not only the country, the whole globe will grow, and we'll see very new heights which we had never experienced. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gauri. I would like to welcome Dr. Firdaus Khan. Hello, doctor. How are you? I think she can't hear us. So, Lahari,
Said
please
Miss
answer-
Firdaus Khan.
Can she hear us?
You can hear?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. You all are greeting you. Just say good evening to all.
Yeah, good evening, all.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. I also wanted to add, when we are talking about the responsibility, an idea flashed in my mind because I remembered that responsibility, one of the key characteristics of the person who in our culture is called a parent. A parent is not necessarily a father, it can be either a father or mother, still a parent. But a parent is not just the person who has responsibility for the whole family and for the community. A very important feature that a parent is a person who has knowledge, skills, and responsibility to protect life around him. And if we take into consideration the knowledge that we know that came from our ancestors, that our family is at least 7 generations of people behind us, and if we look more on this situation, then all people in the world are interconnected, because indeed then it makes us one big family, because in this sense, through 7 generations, we're all interconnected. This is important to know. And the responsibility that we spoke today is the responsibility not only for us, for the job that we do, but also for our community and for the world we live in. Let me ask you, girls, the next question. Since we began talking already about the creative society, can you please share with us your understanding? How do you see, or can you please describe the society where you and your loved ones would like to live in the future? Please share with us.
In a creative society that I envision, I would like to see smooth and healthy communication of ideas and values between people, where policies, not politics, make positive impact, where there is leeway for constructive criticism, and like I said, where argument panders both to logic and to emotion, where people stand as solid pillars of support for each other and look out for each other. They respect each other's fundamental rights and also perform their fundamental duties. When we were talking about responsibility, these words very particularly flashed in my head. With great power, with great freedom comes greater responsibility. I would like to add my own example. In the beginning of the lockdown, I felt very lazy, and I couldn't motivate myself to set out and start achieving what I had planned. But I realized that if I have to get somewhere, I have to start. That I feel is responsibility, because I started feeling more responsible about myself, because I want to set out to do something, which is when I set out to start. So the minute, like Gauri said, people start feeling responsible for themselves, society inherently becomes better.
Gauri, can you please share with us how do you imagine the future society, the creative society, where you and your family would like to live comfortably and safely?
As Larry very rightly pointed out, I envision a creative society where every individual's dignity is respected. At the same time, he or she shall know how responsible they must be towards their society's building, where everybody is more of a family, and where everybody feels secure to live, where there is no crime, there is no nonsense politics, but there is pure faith in each other. And the day we as humans are able to confide in each other, that's the day I believe creative society should have already been established.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very much.
Gauri. Before going and talk about the 8 foundations of creative society, I would like to ask our educators today, how do you think the potential solutions for improving the educational system? What do you think, Mr. Nayak, please?
Hello. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely. The discussions as far as the creative society is concerned, we are, so fortunate to have the society like this, where people can understand each other. The most important is to make ourselves happy, understand each one of us. And the creative society does not only signify how to prosper, how to move ahead in this particular arena, but I believe the creative society has a mission to go ahead, taking all together and keeping the peace, harmony in everywhere. And if that is maintained, I think the society will be a happy society. When we talk about any society, those who are creative need to be happy. And I foremost signify that Each one of us, may be a child, maybe a young adult, anyone. If at all you want to strive in this, you want to become successful in this particular arena, then I want that each one of us should be thinking about each other individual. You need to become very passionate. You need to become very, helping to each other. And I believe when you have a mind, intention behind to have a powerful, a guide, a powerful quote is there given by, I could remember, legendary Roger Hort. He has spoken that one of the best critics is that when you analyze people differently, when you analyze each and every one in a proper way, and not discriminating people, not giving any impartial judgment to others, I think that is the ultimate quote of each one of us. And believe me, truth, when you have, I think, is the ultimate truth on happiness. The moment we are born, the society, have expectations on us, and we have told that we are not good enough if at all you do not work for the society, if at all everyone works for themselves. But once you think that you works for the society, there is a possibility to succeed in the days to come. So the truth is, we all have a well of happiness inside us. You have a well of happiness, entirely a well of happiness is there. We just have to realize that that it is there. Once you realize that yes, the well of happiness is inside there, it will never go away and will always let us draw inspiration and happiness from it. So I believe each one of us need to contribute to the society rather to the own individual.
Thank you,
That's
Dr.
great.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr.
Thank you.
Khan. I would like also to ask you, Madam Firdaus Khan, in school, generally speaking, we have people suffering from poverty, we have students who have family issues. So how do you deal with all of this to ensure that these students, despite on the fact that they do have issues, they can be performant at school?
I think her signal is poor.
She did not hear me.
Possibly not.
She has texted me. She has some technical problem.
She has some,
Can you hear?
So if you, Constantine, can answer my question, please.
You're breaking up, sorry. Did you ask about the 8 foundations? Sorry, I also have.
No, I asked about, in the school environment, there are some students who suffer from family issues, who suffer from poverty. And how do you think you can help all these students to uplevel their performance despite the fact that they have issues?
First of all, my profession or every teacher needs to understand that for those kids, for those students who come to his class, he is a father and a mother at the same time. It means that he is the one who is responsible for upbringing and for educating these kids. He is responsible for their future. He is responsible for those individuals who they are to become very soon. So, and it is very much important and vital for every teacher to support his students in every possible way he can to learn, to progress, to become better, to get new and necessary skills that would help them once to become a professional and become an active and a good citizen of his community, of his country. So that's important for every teacher like I do to support their students, be friends, and at the same time be the father and the mother for them at the same time.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very important to support children because every person has a potential. And as teachers, they're supposed to help students unleash their potential and be more performant. Thank you so much. So now we're going to move to the 8 foundations of creative society. Can you please project them on screen? So we have the 8 foundations of creative society. A human is the fundamental unit of society. Humanity is one big family. The first foundation is human life. The second, human freedom. The third, human safety. The fourth, transparency and openness of information for all. The fifth, creative ideology. The sixth, development of personality. The seventh, justice and equality. And the eighth, self-governing society. What do you think, Gori? Which foundation you find so interesting for you?
That the fifth foundation is very interesting. It says about a creative ideology. I believe that when every person is able to think out of the box and not limit to just the sky, that day the way we think shall empower us to be more better and more better. And so I believe that in a creative society, there is going to be a lot of creative ideology. People are not just going to think within the territory. They will think something that is more innovative. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Exactly. We think to grow. Thank you so much, Gori. What do you think, Lahari?
Ma'am, you talked about freedom as one of the fundamentals. Freedom, especially because I belong to a democratic country, because we've all been raised democratically, I would like to speak about why freedom appeases me so much. When you constrict someone, when you cage someone, it grows only within the boundaries of the cage. But when you set the bird free, it flies and it's beautiful. It can expand its wings, it can grow, it can fetch so many different kind of stuff for itself. So freedom is extremely essential for the creative society. It should be the fundamental on which we should build ourselves, because it has the potential to inspire, it has the potential to make us think.
Thank you so much.
Gori, let me ask you a question. From your point of view, what actions we as a society need to make in order to build a creative society?
As they showed us that there are 8 foundations, and I personally believe that everybody should first understand their duties and then understand the way to use their own freedom, because it is really important that the freedom that is given to us is also given to us with a line that is drawn, and one must never cross a line of limits. One must never cross such lines that may make us feel or anybody else feel wrong about us. So I personally believe that in a creative society, it can be established firstly the day when we understand what our responsibilities are. The second thing, I believe that in a creative society, to make a creative society possible, one must go beyond their limits. And the third and the most important thing is one must learn to confide in each other, because when we trust in each other, that everything is possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gori. I would like to welcome Mr. James Martin. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
And I would like to ask you a question. As an educator, what do you think the potential solutions to improve the educational system and to eradicate child labor?
You know, I think that we have to look at the educational systems as a whole in terms of the cultural mindset. And I think we have to look at the perceptions and views on this particular topic and really start to put into practice, into the curriculum, into the design and development of the creation for that type of program within our school systems. And I think from the creative society perspective, I think it's being able to adopt the practices with our support system around us and the people that we are involved with as well. So I think that first and foremost is what will create that trend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Larry, let me ask you a question. How do you envision learning in the creative society?
Learning or education are a very essential process in building ourselves, because they will give us a very good idea of what we are to become and what we can do to make this world a better place. Learning can be started by practicing what we preach. If you exhibit all the right traits that you expect from people, you can learn. I'd also read somewhere that children are very good imitators. They learn better when they observe those around them. So give them something good to imitate. When you learn, you expand your horizons by thinking about multiple types of things, because when you put yourself in someone else's shoes, when you talk about perspectives, when you try to understand someone's situation in your own eyes, then you have a better idea of how they react to it, why they react to it the way they do. So learning involves perspectives too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
So learning is very much interconnected directly with practice, not just learning from the books, just dry theoretical stuff, but also practicing it at the same time and practicing with people who can show you, guide you, and inspire you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Gauri, go ahead, dear.
To add something to it, I believe in a creative society, learning is something that is an indispensable part of any human's life. Learning in a creative society, I believe, will be based on three pillars. First is visualization. I believe that every time we visualize what we learn, we tend to learn it more better. The second is expanding your imagination, because imagination is something that can create wonders. Who could have ever imagined that today, being in so many different parts of the world, we could sit and connect to each other. So I believe that learning will be based on imagination, based on visualization, and the third and the most important thing, that pillar on which learning will be based on application, because just thinking and imagining things will not make something possible. I believe that learning is more better in a creative society when we try to apply it. It is not wrong if you get the thing that you have applied. It is not going to be wrong if you just get it mistaken, because in fact, Thomas Alva Edison once said that when he was creating a bulb, he said that I did not find out a lakh wrongs. I just found a lakh ways which would not work. So it is very important that we apply what we learn, what we visualize what we learn, and I never give a break to our imagination. That's why I believe that learning is going to be in this way in a creative society. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gauri. Lahari and Gauri, you had given very, very interesting answers. And I would like to ask you a final question. You know, you have spoken about free thinking, about innovation, about responsibility, about so many other aspects that are so important. What do you think a person, a leader, can do in order to apply all these aspects that you had spoken about in creative society? What are the actions to apply them?
Like I said earlier, you begin by practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
What you expect from people, you exhibit those right traits. Next, you can you need to make people realize why they actually require a creative society, so as to give them a sense of satisfaction and gratitude. You need to understand why people require things and how they require it to be. Next, you need to inspire people to be inquisitive, to ask as many questions as possible, so that everybody tries to find their own answers and everybody tries to implement, like Gauri very rightly said. And lastly, you should promote joy, respect, harmony, effort, and help people in realizing their purpose. Because I personally believe that we all, when we're born, we have a purpose. Fulfilling that purpose is one thing, but realizing it is what truly matters, so that we can start working for it and we can make the society a whole lot better.
Thank you. What do you think, Gauri?
I believe that to implement something, it is said that learning starts at home. So similarly, I believe that everything that you want people to do, you must do that first. Like MK Gandhi, he very rightly said, be the change that you want to. So I believe that everybody must instill those qualities within us first, and then if we practice it, it is quite sure that people will, at least one or two people will start from us, and this will create a larger chain. And as the chain grows and grows and grows, the idea of creative society will be there in everybody's mind, and we will be able to realize it more and more better. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
More passionately
Thank you
too.
very much. Exactly.
And you would like to ask your final question. Would you want to live in creative society?
Definitely. If there's a society where everybody looks out for each other, where everybody just has a smiling, happy, wide smile on their face, it's something you would look forward to. I remember that last week I was watching a compilation of people laughing, and it suddenly made me burst out in laughter. Happiness is contagious.
Yeah.
Positivity is contagious. A creative society will give you just that. So I would definitely love to live in one, and I will strive to work towards one.
Thank you. What
What
about
about
you, Gauri?
It is something that can be achieved.
The sound is breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, the picture is frozen.
Is she still with us? Gauri, can you hear us?
Technical issues.
We have minor technical issue, but that's okay. We can go on.
Okay, so we'll go on. So thank you so much for today's conversation. It was really enriching. I'm so stunned by seeing young girls achieving, thinking, and just improving themselves day by day by exploring their potential. Thank you so much. And for dear viewers, if you and your friends would like to participate in a live conversation, please send your emails to uae@allatraunites.com. To join creative projects of the Allatra International Public Movement, please visit our website, allatraunites.com, where you will see the red button join, and you will fill out a very short and easy form. As well, on Allatra Unites website, there are more details about the 8 foundations of creative society. You can check it in order to explore them more. You can also participate in conversations on Allatra Radio or send your ideas of creative society to info@allatraunites.com. And please share our videos using 2 hashtags, #Creative Society and #AllatraUnites. Thank you so much. It was an amazing conversation. Thank you.
It was a pleasure
Thank you, guys.
being here.
It was a pleasure communicating with you today.
Gauri, you're here again. I would like to hear your opinion before we leave. Can you please tell us about creative society? It's very interesting. Yes.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Well, as I said, that creative society is some dream that everybody would love to realize, and nobody would not love to live in a society of really happy, brimming people, full of hope, full of joy. And I will surely try to help. First, I will learn and try to instill those qualities of living in a creative society as a citizen, and I'll surely help people to be a creative citizen of a very happy society. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was very enriching conversation today. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Namaste, everyone.